Rock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. I'm watching this and I'm pumped. Literally, I got to tell you, I get more and more pumped when I look at these numbers because we got 78% precincts reporting, and we are now, Trump is up by 11 points, and he's a sliver from being at 12. He's toggled over the past, Producer Garrett, like 10, 20 minutes between 11 and 12. So he did break the 12 mark, and that's what we want. I told you, we want 12 or higher. That's just my little personal opinion. If we get 11, that's fine. That'll be good. But I want 12 or higher. I do. And here's the thing. When you get to these kind of numbers at 78% of precincts reporting, it becomes harder to move the needle more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can move it maybe 0.5, 0.6 or something like that, but it's gonna be, you're not going to stumble upon a county that has got 1 million people in it. Nashua in New Hampshire, there's 1.3 million people in the whole state. So he's up by 36,000. It's hard to move that needle. And you know what else too? They were mocking Iowa. All of them were that didn't like the fact that Trump won. Well, it was only 500,000 people, or 100,000 people, or 50,000 people. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everybody had the same chance of getting a vote or not getting a vote in the caucuses. And she was third, and she's like, I won. Tonight, tonight, I didn't catch her speech, but she, I believe, said something to the effect of, I won, kind of a thing, same attitude. But it's like, no, sister, I'm looking at it right now with 78% precincts reporting, and you're down by 11, almost 12. So, no, you didn't win. No. So, I love it. I'm excited. The more these numbers come in, I love it. And, okay, so let's get into this. This is huge, guys, this story I'm about to get into. This would have led my show tonight if it wasn't for the illegals and, of course, tonight's election in New Hampshire. And I'm excited about the whole thing. I think it's great. I wish the primaries were closer together, not another month before the next one. Anyways, so very good news on Trump's front tonight. Okay. But this one would have led this one honestly could have led easily tonight. And I want you to listen to this one. Kite Baby is a company. They're in DFW here. They're out of Euless. Okay? Kite Baby is a baby clothing company. And there is a woman who has tried to get IVF in vitro a couple times, and she faced major complications each time. She lost 3 babies during the stretch. Finally, this is from WFA TV Channel 8. Finally, in December, so last month, the couple said yes to adopting a baby boy born 9 hours away at 22 weeks old. And the boy only weighed 1 pound at the time. Wow. So that's a precious, sweet little, preemie. Okay? So the baby is in NICU. I mean, you would, obviously, babies are not going to go mainstream when they're a pound. But what little I know is you would not believe how much better the conditions are in that situation, comparatively speaking, okay? So I don't know much. I know pretty much nothing, but I've heard from my wife with her friends and family and others that, yeah, it's difficult to see that and scary sounding, but we have so much better technology and everything. So the mom works at this baby clothing company, right? And so she asked her employer, can I please work from home during the next 9 weeks, 2 months and 1 week, even though apparently they have a no work from home policy. She says, can I work from home for 9 weeks while my baby's in the NICU? And I don't know how she asked it. I don't know if she demanded it. I don't know if she threatened to quit or, I don't know. But they fired her. And then what did she do? She went on social media. Oh my gosh, you guys, the company I work for, I'll pull some audio of her in a minute. She's like, oh my gosh, guys, the company I work for, they're a baby clothing company, and they fired me. Oh, my gosh. Is that what you do? When your employer does something you don't like, do you, maybe you complain a little bit and then just overlook it and move forward? Or do you go to social media and rat them out? Bring them to their knees. Well, she went to social media and she's making them pay now. Because apparently there are a lot of people that have attacked them. You know what I'm saying? Like, boycotted them and stuff. The owner came on Chinese malware app TikTok and apologized. But apparently the apology was stiff and scripted. And so the people attacked her even more. People attacked her and this company, this Kite baby clothing company, even more. So then they were saying, oh, you had a scripted fake apology. You don't care about her. That was BS. So then she came on and gave a double, triple apology. You're right. It was scripted and rehearsed, and I'm sorry, and I'm so bad. We're so evil. We're so wicked. I'm so sorry. Here's a whip that they used in, what's that Catholic movie? The guy whips himself, a Da Vinci Code. I'm going to flog myself. See, I'm flogging myself now. I'm crying. Here's some blood. Throw some fake blood on her. Oh, I'm horrible. She did that crap, though. You know what I mean? She did this garbage where you apologize ad infinitum. What does that get you? What happens when you apologize? No, it doesn't. Producer Garrett said nothing. I said, no. I learned because you know what? When that disgraced guy who is an attorney who does all these racially charged things, what's his name? He tried to get me fired. The guy who ran for Lee Merritt. Yeah, he comes out. He's a bottom dweller, and he couldn't hold Jesse Jackson's jockstrap, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, he tried to get me fired, and he, whipped up the flames and edited stuff up to make me look bad, put it out there, went all over the country, and people were going nuts and attacking me, all sorts of stuff. And then he put it back out there again like it was brand new a week later to make it to sustain it. It was like a 2-week sustained campaign to get me fired, and he failed. And in the middle of that, my friend, Eric Erickson, who's a syndicated talk show host, he used to fill in for me back in the day. He's Rush quoted him for years on his show. Because his claim to fame was he's a blogger. He did redstate.com and then he sold it, and he's got his own different website now. But he's a buddy of mine, and I reached out to him, and he said, don't apologize. Do not apologize. Because once you do that, they will take you down even further. And he's right. And he was mentored by Rush himself, so I agree. And that's what she did. She apologized. She let the mob force her to apologize. She had a fake apology, and they ripped her even more. Once you come out and apologize, they will tear you down and destroy you. It'll never be enough. And then double, triple apologies. Now our company's done, in my opinion. But I want to talk about this. The woman that got fired and then was... Oh, and she also said, I'll give you your job back. What a loser. What a loser. She doesn't care about the woman. She doesn't care about the people. But I don't like this chick either that tried to go off and not work at the place for 9 weeks because of her. She's adopting a kid. I don't like this mom either. She's doing a GoFundMe fundraiser, and the news story in here talks about how she and this guy are partners. They're not married, and I'm a little suspicious about this situation with her. She's got a GoFundMe, and it's got like $92,000 in it and stuff like that. I'm not interested, and I think she also is problematic from what I can put together here. So I want to ask you a few questions about this, and we'll play some audio when we come back. You hear about these people from their Channel 8 interviews and such, and the social media posts and everything. Do you think it was okay for the company to refuse to let this new adoptive mom work from home? You think that was okay? She's adopting this baby. He's a pound. He's in NICU. She wants to work from home for 9 weeks. Why? The baby's not there. Number 2, do you think it was okay for the employee to criticize her company on social media? And what would you have done if you were the owner of this baby clothing company? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Do you think it was okay for the company to refuse to let her, this new adoptive mom, to work from home when the baby was in the NICU for nine weeks, not in the home? Do you think it was okay for the employee to criticize her company on social media? And what would you have done if you were the owner of this baby clothing company? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. We'll take your call. I'm going to be playing some of this audio. You'll hear it. We'll give you a few more details about this story. And I got more opining to do on this coming up next on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. All right, let me play this audio from WFAA TV Channel 8 today. And by the way, of course, this is News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. Okay, so this, if you're just joining us, you got a baby clothing company that's in Euless, right here in DFW, and this woman is trying to have a baby for a long time with her partner. I guess that means her boyfriend. They try to be nebulous about it, but that's the clear implication here, and nonetheless, they tried all sorts of things, IVF, lost 3 babies. So then she says, I'm adopting, which is great. Nobody's against that. That's fantastic. And when he was born, 9 hours away, 22 weeks old, he was a preemie, and he's only 1 pound. He's in the NICU. 9 weeks he'll be in the NICU, she's told. She asks her boss if she can work from home for 9 weeks. Boss says no, and you're fired. Now, I'm not sure she was just fired for asking that. That's what this woman claims, but I don't. Based on the fact that this woman, she says I got fired for asking, and then she says it on social media. She attacked her employer or whatever. Told the whole story on TikTok, the Chinese malware app. That's a big red flag to me. If you go online and you talk about it to everybody in social media, then you're not a good employee. No. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of things I have not liked, whether it be in my 14 years here or whether it be in my I've been on the air for 24 years now, full-time, and in the business since 95 summer. Listen, there's a lot of things that my employers, and I've worked full-time in broadcasting since I graduated in January 96. So there's been a lot of things in 27 years that I haven't liked. I've never gone public with anything because I'm not a freaking moron. Because I like my work. I want to keep my job. Because there's times when you get PO'd at your employer. And guess what? If you act like a jerkity jerk, you ain't going to be around 14 years like I've been. And if you don't like things, talk to your freaking wife or in this case, your boyfriend who you're trying to have a baby with. Right? You don't talk to the world attacking your freaking employer. So when you go public with this, I mean, if you're like sexually assaulted or something like that, that's different, okay? Or beaten, you know what I'm saying? That's different. If it's something that's like, whoa, that's different. This is not that. 99.9% of the things out there are not. When you do that, it's a red flag. You're a bad employee. I would never hire you. So, do you think it was okay for the company to refuse to let this new adoptive mom work from home? I do. You don't. The baby's not at home. You don't need to be at home. Take a maternity leave. I can't because the baby's not in the house yet. Well, there's your answer. See you at work tomorrow. Number 2, do you think it was okay for the employee to criticize her company on social media? No! Big red flag. Number 3, what would you have done if you were the owner of this baby clothing company? I would have said, come back to work, see you tomorrow, and that's it. If she didn't show up the next day, I'd say, I'm sorry, but you need to come in. No, I'm sorry. You need to come in, I need to talk to you. And if she wouldn't come in, I'd say, well, then you're fired. That's it. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Now, and would you want to hire somebody that did what this woman did? Go on social media, attacking them? She got the whole company's been getting a major backlash because of this. And this owner came out and apologized, but it was like a scripted BS apology. By the way, you never come out and apologize. Unless you did something really bad, you never come out and apologize. This woman's big mistake was coming out and apologizing. And number two was doing it fake. You don't do what she did. They smell blood, they attack you. It got even worse. She came out and gave a second apology. You'll hear pieces of both of them here in a second. And you'll hear the mom at the center of this. This is from WFAA TV Channel 8 today.
It was my oversight that she didn't feel supported.
After hearing about the company's termination and apology, many on social media called out the company for not being sincere and demanding a boycott.
The comments were right. It was scripted.
Kite Baby issuing a second apology.
This was a terrible decision. I was insensitive, selfish.
Power says the situation could have been resolved privately, but now it's in company crisis mode.
In every crisis, there is an opportunity. The opportunity here is to redefine policies, to sit down and have conversations with employees.
Which Leo says she'll do in her apology video. She's also offering Hughes her job back with the remote option and paid benefits. Hughes.
Wait a minute. This idiot at the company says, oh, I'll give you your job back and you can work from remote? What an idiot. This woman's an idiot. You know why she's doing this? Because she's been brought to her knees by people boycotting her and attacking her. When you Google Kite Baby, as I just did, it comes up their website, and then below that, it's got all these stories from Washington Post, CNN, Yahoo News, Axios, ABC News, NBC. She's done. She's an idiot. Don't apologize. Now her face is everywhere. This company is going to be, I think it's done. I think they're going to be destroyed by this because they didn't handle it right. No, ma'am. Hey, maybe they'll make it. Let me play the rest, though. Let me rewind it like 5-10 seconds.
She'll do in her apology video. She's also offering Hughes her job back with the remote option and paid benefits. Hughes posting this response online.
While we don't think it would be appropriate for me to go back, we're really encouraged to hear that there will be some changes made for current and future employees at the company.
In Tarrant County, I'm Brittany Moncrief.
Okay, that's from WFA TV. Hello, that's from WFA TV Channel 8. By the way, the lady, when she was saying that I'm not going to take the job, she should have been throwing some fake tears on her face. I don't want your job, my baby, and I don't want your job. Please leave us alone. I think they deserve each other. I think I would never hire this woman, and I think this woman that runs this company is an idiot. That's it. I'm out. Up next on the Chris Crock Show. Oh, this is good. A Texas police officer in North Texas is accused of brutality for unleashing his canine on a traffic stop on a man who was unarmed. We're going to talk about whether or not that was okay. Coming up next to the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. All right, y'all, we got 82% of precincts reporting. It looks like it's baked into the cake. It won't be going up or down at this point. I hope it'll go up 0.2 for Trump so that he can get solid 55 to 43. He's going to defeat Haley by at least 11. That's obvious now, which is good. You know what they were saying today all day, like desperately trying to like make it look like she still should stay in. The Rhino people on Fox today were saying, not all of them, but a good amount of them were saying, well, you know, if she just can be in the single digits, trying to spin that as that's a victory, dude. She didn't get into single digits. It's at least 11 points that she's going to lose by. With 82% of the precincts reporting, Haley gets 43, Trump gets 54. 11 points, y'all. So 43 to 54, 43 to 54. That's 11-point defeat. That ain't close. Remember, New Hampshire's that state. We're going to do this. We got Chris Sununu, the governor, with his voice is like Bizarro, isn't it? No, I gotta go higher. It's like, what is this? Some geeky kid? Sounds like a geeky kid, right? Anyways, he's like, yeah. He's like, Nikki Haley's gonna do it. Yeah, this is who people here like. We like people like her. She's independent. Dude. You're putting lipstick on a pig, polishing a turd. It ain't going to work. No, people see what it is. It's she's a fraud. It's not a candidacy that the independents probably do half of them. But anyways, she didn't win it at all. She loses by double digits, and it's 11, not 10, so it's a little bit worse than a 10-point loss. She is done. She is facing a 32. Was it 31? Let me see. Double check. Because Haley is at. Let me look at Real Clear Politics. Because she is down in the average of polls in South Carolina, her home state, where she was two-term governor for 8 years. She's behind Trump. Trump is leading in average of all polls by 31 points in her home state. What does that tell you? People that know her, that put her in office for two terms in a row for 8 years, they don't want to vote for her. Why? You don't even need to know, do you? I mean, dude, you live under her rule for 8 years and you're like, I don't want her? Why? She must be pretty bad, huh? Wow. I mean, dude, they put her in. They don't like her. All right. The Dallas News reporting that Texas cops, a police department, it's Denison, which is 75 miles north of Dallas. Basically, it is in Grayson County, I believe. Isn't Grayson County the most northern county above us, up 75? Double check. I think Grayson County is that last county before you go in Oklahoma, and that's where this happened in Denison, which is where a canine cop followed a guy. Yeah, exactly. Denison County, Grayson County, Denison, Texas, where we all go through. If you've gone up to Oklahoma like I've done ad infinitum, with Mrs. Croc and the kids to go up to Chicago once or twice a year to make the trek. We go through that. The problem is going through Oklahoma is like 4 hours of hell through small town, or 3 hours of hell going through small towns, and then finally hit the turnpike. You get excited, but it's like 30 minutes, and then you're in Missouri, which is good. So this guy here's what happened. This guy is driving on a suspended license. He has because he had outstanding child support. And he is leaving a high-risk drug area in Denison, which is under surveillance. So, and he's got his 9-year-old boy in the car with him, who he doesn't feel like paying child support to the point where he got his license suspended, according to the state of Texas in this report. So he gets pulled over by a canine cop for having supposedly having a dim tail light, which, yes, that's a common excuse to say to pull somebody over, or maybe it was out. I don't know. But look, he was leaving a high-risk drug area under surveillance. Maybe he was staying at a place that was seedy, but he ended up not having anything on him. Anyway, there was a tussle with the cop. He was angry. The cop was angry. Whatever. Nobody knows the full details until the cops release their investigation. You know what I mean? But all I know is this. There was a tussle with the cop. He told the guy to put his hands behind his back. Otherwise, he would put his canine on him, stick his canine on him. The guy claims he attempted to comply, but the cop ordered the dog to attack him 6 times at least. I don't believe the guy. I don't believe him. But nonetheless, that's what he alleges in the Dallas Morning News today. He has filed a lawsuit against this officer for $1 million. The police department did not fire this cop. He's still there, and they're not responding to the Dallas Morning News request for comments. This man, listen to this though, guys, very key. Later on, this man was arrested for evading arrest and endangering a child under 15. What does that tell you? That's interesting, isn't it? I don't trust this guy, but he's alleging he was attacked. He's unarmed. His story is, I'm an unarmed man. I was viciously attacked by the canine officer, canine dog. This officer used a weapon against me for no reason, is what he's alleging. Now, he's got pictures in the Dallas Morning News that make it look horrific because he's got these bites all over his back and everything, whatever. They look horrible and stuff like that. Here's what I say. I don't believe him. I got no sympathy, and I don't care. This tells me that you didn't comply. And this tells me the canine was used as a tool against you to get you to comply, not against you, to use as a tool to get you to comply. I know a canine officer, retired now. I've met a couple other ones when they've done training with the guy that I'm friends with who was canine for years, like 20 years in the Metroplex somewhere. And I've met his doggies, and they're amazing. They're powerful. I have great awe and admiration, respect for them and their canine officers. And boy, do they love these doggies. And I got to see, on a friendship basis with my officer friend, he pop his thing and that dog come out. And I'm going to tell you something. When you see that thing go, boom, and then doom, 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 walking at you, you're terrified. And when they unleash that canine, when they tell a perpetrator, I saw some other stuff where this person, this retired officer, was there was a guy running. There was a chase, and they had the chopper up, the police chopper, and the person's running, and they're in a suburban neighborhood somewhere. And they're like, we ain't going. He's in the corner, and the thermal imaging from the cop above and the chopper said there's something in his pocket. He's reaching in his pocket to get something. They ain't gonna go around that corner in this dark alleyway between two houses where there's no light. They ain't going back there. They said, come out and surrender with your hands in the air and get on the ground, or we're gonna send in the canine. Guy didn't do it. They sent the canine, took him down, did a dang good job. That's what they're there for. On a traffic stop, if you start attacking that cop, automatically there's a button on his little thing. You can just open up the door and it'll come out and go right at the guy and attack him. He says one word, that dog's attacking. I watched in their training. I watched. They take that dog off a leash. They put it on. They stand it right there. They said, lay down. And they go over there and they simulate a guy who's in a suit so when he gets bit, he's okay. And he's acting like he's the perpetrator. He's patting him down. And the suspect then starts attacking him. Cop, the animal, while it's on the ground, is just sitting there going, it wants to attack or wants to do something. It doesn't. Once the guy attacks him while he's trying to do a traffic stop, if you will, on the other side of the room in an indoor training facility, they go to different places. The dog just sprints and takes the guy down because he's trying to attack the cop while he's patting him down. It's beautiful. Without saying a word. It's beautiful. So I got no issues. I think it's fine. I don't believe this guy. Here's my questions for you. Do you see scenarios where it would be okay to use a police canine on an unarmed man? You think it's okay? Do you think there's scenarios where it would be absolutely okay to unleash a canine attacking an unarmed man? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. And I'm going to tell you right now, on this traffic stop with this guy, I don't believe him. I don't care that he's unarmed. It's a tool. It was used against him. You don't mess with those canine cops. You don't comply. You have that. You take a danger of getting attacked by that dog. That's on you. I got no sympathy for this guy. I don't believe him for anything. And I'm glad Dennison's saying to them, giving them the bird and not responding to the news. Good. You're going to lose your case. And I'm glad they also charged you with evading arrest and endangering a child under 15. I think you're a dirty birdie. You dirty birdie. All right. Your call. Your thoughts. Is it okay to attack an unarmed man with a canine cop if it's appropriate according to the cop on a traffic stop? 800-288-WBAP. Your call next. Then we're going to get into, we got a bunch. A woman sues a dentist who performed a lot of surgeries. A lot. While she was knocked out. We'll talk about that next on the Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Well, it is, I don't think it's changing. Trump's going to end up winning tonight in New Hampshire by 11. And that's good. He needed that double-digit visit to put her to shame, and he did. 11 points is not even close. Obviously, she was hoping for 5 or 4 or 2 or 3 or at least 9 to have single digits. And that really was the only spin that I was hearing throughout the day. It was like, if she can get in single digits, she didn't. 11. Not 10, where it's like she just hit 2 double digits. No, 11. 46 to 50. It's 43 to 54. It's over. It's 43-6 to 54-6. 11 points, done. Good night. 83% of the precincts reporting. And based on the fact that the numbers are so high, I don't see the numbers changing. But if they do, I'll be surprised if he doesn't go up to to 55. Maybe she'll crack 43, so it'll be at least 11 tonight or tomorrow morning by the time we wake up. So good on Trump. I'm very happy, and I'm glad. He said a few things. Quote, Trump calls Haley an imposter, the Daily Mail says, who had a very bad night in wild New Hampshire victory speech. We carried a good chunk of it. He mocks his rival for not wearing not a fancy dress, and says, "I don't get angry, I get even." As the crowd chants, "Bird brain, bird brain." There's the red meat we're used to. That's like a roller coaster ride with Trump. It is what it is. And Haley's vowing to stay in the race. That's great. Oh, that's great. And then what else? We got a few little highlights from that coming in tonight. Haley stays in the race and insists it's far from over. Far from over. You know, in the third state, she's going to lose by 31 points, according to the Real Clear Politics average of polls. Hey, by the way, you know what? Actually, hold on. Because let's look at the Real Clear Politics average of polls for New Hampshire. Because that said Trump would win by, 19. He ended up winning by 11. Interesting. But you know what, though? It's hard to predict. You know why on that one? Because that one you can be a Democrat and vote. You know what I'm saying? You can be a Democrat and vote for Haley. You can be a liberal, an independent Democrat leaning, and you'll vote for Haley, obviously, to try to take Trump, Orange Man out. But it didn't work. Okay, so there you go. I mean, that's bad, dude. That's the one state where she had a real chance. I mean, there's other ones, but you ain't going to see them for a long time. Because the next state in exactly 4 weeks from, 4.5 weeks from right now is going to be her home state of South Carolina, where she's going to lose, according to Real Clear Politics average of polls, by 31 points. Beaten badly. Badly. Okay. In the meantime, Minnesota woman sues dentist. This also from the Daily Mail. A Minnesota woman sues dentist who performed 8 dental crowns, 4 root canals, and 20 fillings in one visit, leaving her disfigured and distressed. Well, are they bad teeth, or did he just try to make a lot of money off of one mouth? I don't know, but producer Garrett says that's some bad teeth right there, right? Is that what she said? She's suing her doctor for what occurred during the treatment for a rare case of tooth decay at his practice. She alleges he overused anesthesia and faked her medical records to avoid liability. I don't know. But dang, that's a lot of work. See, she alleges it was way too much work. It was impossible to do all that work in one appointment. It sure sounds like it to me. Isn't that amazing? Let's go through that again. 8 dental crowns. It sounds like the 8 Days of Christmas. 8 dental crowns, 4 root canals, 20 fillings in one visit. What? Yeah, I know. Okay. Meantime, what do I always say, guys, about, and this is a very serious thing. I always say, if you have a flat tire, if you have a car that is chugging along, barely working, and you're like, oh, I got to pull over, I'm telling you something. I'm quoting the Lonnie Haschel, the trooper that is a spokesperson for North Texas for DPS, for the troopers. And he said this on my show well over a decade ago, and I think he's still the North Texas spokesperson for DPS. He said, Chris, and Chris's listeners, he said to you guys, to me and everybody, all of us, he said, if you have to drive on that rim for a mile or two so you can find an exit to get off that highway before you pull over, do it. And then several months later, there I was going up the highway, go home late at night, and sure enough, it happened to me. And I'm like, oh no, man, I got a nice car, nice rims, and I don't want to ride on my nice rims that are, whatever, the alloy wheels or whatever they're called. I don't want to ride on those on the highway, but I did. And I thought I was going to have to buy new alloy wheels for hundreds of dollars. They ended up being just fine. Isn't that funny? Well, the one that I rode on for like a mile ended up being fine. I was shocked. And here's why. A 24-year-old young lady and a 28-year-old man were struck and killed by a third driver while they went to the roadway exchanging information following an initial crash. They had some kind of a crash, and they pulled over to exchange information, and they both died because somebody hit them. Do not pull over on the side of the highway. It just happened again in North Texas. It happens every other freaking week or month. I tell you, it's like a death sentence. If you want to die, pull over on a highway on the side of 75 or 635 or 820 or 30 or 20. If you want to die, pull over on that side and see what happens. You may get lucky, but you may end up like this 24-year-old and 28-year-old who were both killed. When they pulled over to exchange information, DPS press release says the crash report at 2 a.m. on the northbound lanes near Forest Lane. By the way, just because it's 2 a.m. doesn't mean you're going to get hit versus 2 in the afternoon. They both happen. So this poor mother is left to deal with the grief, and they were both taken to a hospital, and they were declared dead. Third driver, not injured, investigation ongoing. Yeah, it's because the driver that hits him almost never gets hurt or killed, unfortunately. It's how it is. Person that does the act doesn't get hurt. It's the people that are on the side of the road. Don't pull over on the side of the road. Tell your loved ones. Tell your wife. Tell your husband.